at Artful Stampin. So I've spent the good part of an hour trying to figure out a bag template for you. Not gonna lie, I was inspired by the bag template that's in, sorry, not bag template, the bag die that is in the current spring catalogue. Look at my battered catalogue. Okay, so where is it? I'll just find it for you. So it's this really cool die that you can purchase, and you can use it with your die cutting machine to cut some really cool little bags with. Why can I never find anything when I need to in here? And so I've been inspired by it. I did have a look at sort of the dimensions of it and kind of recreated my own kind of thing. And also I figured out how to do measurements if you're using centimeters or inches, basically if you're using A4, British A4, or if you're using 12 by 12. So in the UK, we can purchase 12 by 12 cardstock and designer series paper. So I'm hoping it's just giving you guys a bit of a choice, and also you guys in Australia, you can purchase the two types as well. Right, so the inspiration comes from this bag here. I haven't done the handles because I thought you guys are smart enough to figure out whatever decoration you want to put on these, and whether or not you want to do embossing and all that kind of thing. But the basic inspiration is to create a bag that's slightly more shaped. However, when you open it, it's kind of basically that, well, it's kind of like a boxy shape, so you can get quite a lot of stuff in it, and then when you close it up, you end up with this really nice gusset here, and some scores there, and then you can close it either by, you know, popping straps on it, or I don't know, you could even put a little Velcro dot in the center or punch a hole. It, you know, that it's limitless how you want to design decorate it afterwards. Right, so you're going to have to perhaps save or like this video and come back to get all the measurements, because I am going to run through the measurements now, and I will also run through with you what I recommend you have in the way of equipment. So if you have the Stampin' Up! Grid paper, then I would say please spare yourself a couple of pieces of grid paper and create a template for yourself. Now, you guys in the States, I know you tend to work with inches, and obviously us in the UK we have centimeters, and here in the UK we have inches on one side of our grid paper, and also we have one side inches and one side centimeters, which is fabulous because we get the choice of both. But I'm guessing you guys in the States, you just have the inches. Right, so what I have done initially is this bag is made out of two, you can get two out of a sheet of 12 by 12. So basically you've got your 12 by 12 and you can cut it in half and create two of those. However, the measurements I'm giving you are adaptable. So if you wanted to take these measurements and make a bag that was sort of this shape at the bottom, but make it really tall, all you do is you pop your measurements across the top instead of halfway down, and you will just create a long bag. So it's an adaptable template once you've got it. Right, I'll say a quick hello to everybody that's popped in on my live. Welcome, thank you for joining me. And if you're watching on the replay, sorry you missed me. I've had to go on a little bit earlier today because my husband and I are going out for dinner. Woohoo! So I want to get this done and off so that we can, and finished rather, so that we can get off later. So hi Misty, Tracy, Newman, who are you? I've forgotten your name. Michelle, Jamie, Karen, Denise, and Jennifer. Hi. Oh, you do have centimeters on both. Okay, right. Well, I will give you both, and then I will show you how to make it up. Although I've just realised the times. I've literally got 10 minutes. Right. So here I've drawn out a template here as if this is 12 by 12. Okay, so look, 12 by 12 fits in there. So I've just cornered it off at the 6 centimetre mark. It doesn't matter where you do it. If you want to just draw a line on a piece of paper and do it this way, that's absolutely fine. But I just thought it was really helpful to create a template, and then all I need to do now is just lay my paper just underneath that template and mark it, and it's easier than kind of going with a ruler and having to read the numbers and then go, oh, where am I? I just thought once you've created that master template, all you have to do is basically do this, and you've got your markings already done. All right, that's the reason I've done it. Right, so in inches, the top measurements are 1/2 inch, 1 3/4, 3 inches, 6 inches, 7 1/4 inches, 8 1/2, and 11 1/2. All right. Then across the bottom, so if I just quickly cut this in half and show you how this works. So I'm going to cut that in half, and then I'm going to score at 1 1/2 inches, and I know I usually have my score blade on this. So the maximum is 1 1/2, but you can do anything, you know, between 1 1/4 and 1 1/2. My score tool has popped out somewhere. It's on the floor somewhere and I can't find it, so I'm just going to use my little scoring tool here. Now this is another of the tools that I would say would be useful. If you don't have this kind of score tool, then basically the end of a pencil, or no, sorry, not pencil, the top of a pen, or anything sort of slightly rounded and sharp, use as your scoring tool, and you can then just use a good old-fashioned ruler. So this is going to be the base of the bag. So you just fold this over, and then you place the bottom of your bag to the bottom measurements on your template. So the bottom measurements are, and you get a pencil. Now I also recommend, if you've got one, if you're doing it on white paper, you're going to be doing them. Oh, actually I should turn this over. I want to mark the back so that I don't mark the front. Right. Oh, this is good because I can actually show you how it works. I would recommend like a pink or red, or basically a pencil that's going to show up on whatever the back of your paper is. I mean, if it's plain, then that's fine, but with this designer series paper that comes from Stampin' Up, it often has a pattern on it, so it's helpful to oops, what am I doing? Sorry, I've missed out a measurement. I've just realised. You write that one in. That should be 1 inch there. Okay, so so a half. Straight. Half, 1 inch, 1 3/4, 2 1/2, 6 1/2, 7 1/4, 8. So I've just got to get someone to get the door. Kids, can you get the door? And then along the top, we're going to go. So I'm just lining it up. 1/2 inch, 1 3/4, 3. Then 6, 7 1/4, 8 1/2, and then 11 1/2. Now, while you're there, I would also, with your pencil, just so that you remember to do this, because this is going to be cut off, with a pencil, just draw from 11 1/2 down to the 12 mark, which is basically the corner. Just draw that, because then it will remind you to cut it off later. And then also from the 0 point there to the half there, just remember to draw that there. Okay, so then you take whatever you're going to score with, you use that to then score and join, basically join up the dots. So you join the half one there to the 1. Now a tip with this, I'm going to get in a bit closer so that you can understand this, it's just that when you put your score tool to the ruler, just take note as to where your score tool is, because you want the score to be from that exact point. I'd put your score tool there, then I'm just going to let the camera go up a bit. Then place your ruler up to it, and you'll find that there is probably a tiny wee gap between the ruler and where you actually place the score tool, because if it's got a ball on it like this, it means that it's not you don't put your ruler exactly on the point, because if you put your ruler on the point there and you then score, your score will actually be in the wrong position. So do take your time to align things up properly, because otherwise when it comes to putting your little box together, if you've misaligned and you then misalign all the way down, it can create a bit of a problem. So take time to align your score tool properly. So score from the half inch mark to the 1 inch. So that's that. Then the 1 and oh, I know what, let me just open this up. Don't need that to be shut now. Then the 1 3/4 mark to the 1 3/4. Then the 3 to the 2 1/2. The 6 to the 6 1/2. The 7 1/4 to the 7 1/4. The 8 1/2 to the what was it done there? 8. And then you're going to cut off the 11 1/2 to 12. Okay. Then while you're still here, the lines that are actually straight here and here, just measure 1 inch from the score line there and just mark it, because that's going to come in useful in a second. All right. Right, so then what you're going to do is cut off these excess bits that you don't need. So we're just going to trim. Now, if you want to use your trimmer for this, that's fine, but we're kind of trying to go low tech on this. So, all right. And then when you get to that point there, you can cut to there, all right, because we don't need that portion, all right. Then we're going to cut from here up to there, get that rid of that piece. Right, I'm just going to lift the camera up a bit. Whoa, there we go. And then fold the score that's at right angles to the base. Just fold that there, and then with your scissors, just cut up to that mark there, and then cut that little section off a little bit. Okay, then put it back down onto your table. And from that point there that we marked earlier, that inch point to there, I put my nail there and then just give that a bit of a fold so that you end up with a really nice crease. And I just get my nail and fold it and then turn it over and fold back again. I just find that the easiest way to do it without having to faff around with a ruler and all that kind of thing. So I'm just going to show you on this section here. So you fold that over. Fold that down. Remember to trim. So go straight up to that line there and then off, and then like before, put your finger in there and fold it like that. Okay, right, now once you've done that, you can then start folding along all the other lines. So we'll fold here and here and here and here. And hopefully it will all come together. I've done this a few times and it's not come together, and then when I've looked at the measurements I realised I've done them wrong, so that can be quite frustrating. So I'm hoping this is the official final numbers for you. Right, so you put the glue on the flap there, then fold that section over and then fold this section as well. Okay, it's not like the traditional box making, because we've got these angled folds. So then just squash that down firmly. Then we're going to work on the base. So just going to pop these two in like that. Now if you want to put glue on them, you can do. I'll just put a little couple of dots there and there, and then we fold that over. And then really the section you have to really glue up is that final flap, really, like that. And then just fold that down. And just make sure that the angles line up properly. And if you need to put your hand in the bottom. And there you have it, your kind of designer handbag. All right. Right, so what I'm going to do now is just go over the centimetre measurements. Now, I haven't actually made up the centimetre one yet, so I was thinking of doing that with you and use the designer series paper that I made the other day, because some of you said, oh, that would make such a fabulous handbag. So here goes. I've not tested out these measurements. I've just kind of figured them out mathematically, but not actually tested them out yet. So if you want the measurements for this, just rewind and watch that section. It's all there. And if you do have problems, do let me know in the comments below. But as you've just seen, I use those measurements and that is what I came up with. So it should work. Right, let's quickly do the next one, because my friend who's come to sit with the kids, he's just arrived. So we're going to have to go in a second. So let's do this and see if it works or not. Right, so if you're working in centimetres, this is what we're going to do. Going to pop in your cardstock at the right point there, and you're going to put a mark at 1 centimetre, 4, 6, 13, 16, 19 and 25. Now, if you wanted to make a stouter bag, you could just chop that off at the bottom and be done with it, and that's fine. But if you want to use the whole of the A4, I'd leave it like this. Now, the maximum base you can go for is the 4 centimetre mark. So I'm actually just going to score that at, oh, we can probably go for 3.5 we can get away with. And I've just lost my scoring tool. Where did I just put that? Oh, here it is. Oh, got the glue on my fingers. Right, hold on. Right, there we go. So I'm just going to do the score line there. Okay. And then fold that aside. Then align it up with your bottom template. So the bottom template numbers are, I feel like I'm announcing a lot of numbers. Your numbers tonight are number 1, number 2, number 4, number 6, number 14, 16, 18, and 26. I think that's right. Yes. And the winner is... Right, okay, so remember the first 2 lines you just draw on because you're going to be cutting them. So you go from the 0 point to the 1 here. Don't forget to do that, because that's where you need to cut. Then this is the first score, so you go from 1 to 2. So go 1, 2, 2 there, score. Then I'm going to have to look at my numbers here because I'm not familiar with this one. 4 to 4, 4 to 4, 6 to, oh no, that's not right. That's not 6 at all. Hold on, I've done that wrong. That's 7. Right. That's 7. 13, 16, 19. Right, all the other numbers are correct. That one's wrong. Okay. So 7 to 6. 13 to 14. And 16 to 16. And 19 to 18. And then 25 to 26. And that one is actually a cut line, so we're going to do that in pencil because we're actually going to trim that section down. Okay, now with your little triangle section, we're going to just mark 3, oh no, that would be a bit too much, 3 centimetres. Let's go for, I think we'll go for 2 centimetres at this point here. 2. Okay, right then, cut. Take care, Christine. Have a lovely evening. Sorry, I'm not responding much to your comments. I'm really wanting to get this done and keep it quite a short video because this is full of lots of instructions, and if you guys watch this again, you won't want me wittering on. So I'll keep this one short and sweet. So trim, trim, trim all the way down. Again, if you want to use your trimmer, that's fine. So trim, trim. And then at this section here, you go off like that. And then this can go straight down to the bottom like that. Okay. Then once you've done your trimming, you fold that straight section down like that. And to that point there, and then remember to put your nail in there and then just fold to that corner there and then fold back on itself there, and then same again up here. Cut up to the top there. I mean, I like to just trim that little section off there, but you don't have to really. You could just glue it all together. And then nail there, fold. And this just helps with the gusset formation. That sounds very posh, doesn't it? Your gusset formation. Right, and then go back and fold. So that's kind of your mountain fold, and these are your valley folds, although they go opposite once you turn the piece of paper over. And then we're going to stick that. Yes, it worked. Yes. It's not perfect, but it has worked. I think it's because I'm a bit of a hurry doing all my score lines and things. So do take your time. This is why it is important to take your time when doing those score marks. Okay, so let's just get a bit of glue onto here. Spread it on thin. Make sure it's not too much blobbing around. Just a bit of scrap. Oh no, use that bit of scrap to get that bit of glue off my fingers. Oh, look, we've got a nice little strip there to do something with as well. No, I'm not going to waste that after we did all that stamping. Okay, so then you fold that section down and that section down, and then pop that over, and then bring that to meet there and give that a good old rub. Now, as I said, I haven't really scored it properly, so that it's slightly out of kilter, but we can just trim that up and make it look as if it was meant to be. Right, and then we've just got to fold this section in, that over, put a good amount of adhesive, whatever your favourite adhesive is, but make sure it's a nice strong one. And then we're going to fold that over like that. And there we have it, our designer handbag shape. A good old rub. And there we go. It's just nice to have a slightly different shape than, I mean, I've made loads of those kind of like long box ones, but this is just, I don't know, it just looks really cool. It's just nice to have slightly alternative shape. And once you've done your template, I would just write on here, template, do not throw, and then keep that then for future reference. So this is the centimeters, and then I'll bring back my inches one, and there you have it. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope it makes sense for if you want to make a smaller version. Basically, it doesn't matter what distance these are apart. You just, once you've folded your bottom bit under, you then just use that bottom measurement. So you can make, you can make tiny ones, or, big ones and small ones, and whatever really. So if you do have any questions, please do message me or comment below, and I will try and answer them. And I hope you make loads of these, and it's a great way to use your one sheet wonders. People are always asking me, what are you going to do with a one sheet wonder? Well, if you've made a really spectacular one that you just cannot bear to cut up, then make a really beautiful bag, and that would fit a really nice, maybe bottle of perfume, or I don't know, something special in there. And of course you can just dress it up and make it look fantastic as well. So thank you so much for joining me, everybody. I hope you have a lovely Valentine's Day, whatever you're doing, and know that I love you, even if you don't feel very loved at the moment, and that God loves you too. So yeah. Ooh, I'm quite excited about this. I'm going to look forward to making a few more, because as I said, once you've got your template done, then you can churn them out quite easily and quickly. So there we go. Right. Oh, anybody there? Nice to see you, everyone that's joined, and I look forward to hearing your feedback on these. Take care for now. Bye.